Some stories fade with time, buried beneath silence, lost in forgotten files, or dismissed as mysteries that will never be solved. But behind every case is a voice that was never heard, a truth still waiting in the dark. This channel is dedicated to the victims, the unanswered questions, and the stories that refuse to disappear. Because somewhere, someone still knows what happened. Welcome to Cries, Unheard in the darkness. It was the kind of evening that feels safe. In October of 1979, the Dallas air was cooling, and the sun was casting long, amber shadows across the pavement. For most, it was the end of a workday. For 7-year-old Elizabeth Barclay, it was supposed to be a quick trip to a local storefront. She wasn't alone. She was looking after her little brother and a young friend. They were steps away from home, walking a route they knew by heart. But in the heartbeat between one street lamp and the next, Elizabeth was gone. She didn't run away. She didn't get lost. She was erased from the street in broad daylight. The details provided by the 2 young boys who were with her are chilling in their simplicity. They described a man who didn't hide in the bushes, but instead stepped directly into their world. He was described as a black man, likely in his 30s, sporting prominent sideburns. After a brief, disturbing confrontation, during which he exposed himself and claimed he would drown her to force compliance. The getaway vehicle was a dark Buick. Witnesses noted a specific detail. The rear of the car, specifically the trunk area, looked beat up or dented. As the car sped off toward the horizon, the 2 boys ran for help, their childhoods ending the moment they reached their front door. The police mobilization was immediate. Within the hour, the neighborhood was swarming with flashlights. The search grew to include the Texas Rangers and federal agents. They focused heavily on the outskirts of Bachman Lake, fearing the kidnapper might follow through on his threat to use the water. They found a set of tracks near a creek bed, one person wearing shoes, another barefoot. It was a lead, a physical connection to the girl they were desperate to save. But the Texas weather had other plans. A massive downpour hit the region. As the creeks rose and the ground turned to mud, the footprints dissolved. The rain didn't just wash away the dirt, it washed away the forensic trail. For 2 months, the Barclay family lived in a state of suspended animation. Then came December 21st. It was a day that should have been celebrated with cake and presents, Elizabeth's 8th birthday. Instead of a celebration, the family received a phone call. Nearly 50 miles east of Dallas, in the rural stretches of Van Zandt County, workers had spotted something in a ditch. It was the remains of a child. The medical examiner used dental records to confirm the identity. The cause of death wasn't drowning. Elizabeth had been shot. The killer had driven her far from the city, executed her, and left her where the wild grass grows. As the years turned into decades, the file on Elizabeth Barclay grew thick with almosts. There were reports of a woman hearing a child's screams that night. A man claimed he saw a driver striking someone in the back of a car, matching the Buick's description. But names never stuck to the descriptions. The man with the sideburns remained a ghost. Elizabeth's parents, Linda and David, spent their remaining years in a house filled with silence, passing away without ever knowing who took their daughter or why. In 2019, the Texas Rangers' Unsolved Crimes Investigation Program took a fresh look at the boxes of evidence. We live in a different world now, one of genetic genealogy and advanced ballistics. They are looking for the owner of that damaged Buick. They are looking for a man who would now be an elderly member of the community. Somewhere in a file or a piece of clothing, a microscopic signature of the killer may still exist. Elizabeth Barclay's story isn't just a true crime tale. It is a scar on the history of Dallas. It is a reminder of a vulnerability that still exists. Someone remembers a friend, a neighbor, or a relative who came home that night in 1979, acting differently. It has been over 40 years. Elizabeth's birthday should be a day of remembrance, Not a day of mourning, an unsolved mystery. If you have any information regarding the case of Elizabeth Barclay, please contact Crime Stoppers. It's time to speak up. Thanks for listening to Cries, Unheard in the Darkness. If this story stayed with you, you're not alone. Subscribe, because the darkness always has more to say. Until next time, listen carefully,